It's getting cold outside. What can we do to protect those trees and shrubs? Well, we are in luck today because Ryan Pankov from the U of I Extension is joining us to answer some of those questions. How are you, Ryan?
Yeah, very good, very good. And you know, that cold snap that we've got here the last couple days has really got people in gear thinking about plants. So I wanted to talk about, what can we do for our trees and shrubs? Because although they're starting to lose their leaves, they aren't done with all their processes for the year.
What can we do?
Well, so one thing that's going on right now is beyond just the cold, it is pretty dry. Like we've had a relatively dry period here. So,
lack of rain?
Yeah, lack of rain. Okay. So if you dig down in the soil, I was planting some plants last week, it's super dry down there. And this is a really critical time for trees and shrubs. As they lose their leaves and go into winter dormancy, they still need water. So you know, folks ask me, should I water through the winter? Probably not through the winter, but right now, kind of keeping those plants well watered is a great idea. And, you know, here's a picture of a soaker hose. That is a great way to get a lot of water to the plant. Just on a trickle. That's one of my favorite ways to water, especially a newly planted tree, but even existing trees, because you don't need a lot of water up in the air. It really needs to get down in the roots. So some other things I had photos of were a soaker hose. You know, then it's going to slowly let that water out. And this is actually a tree soaker bag. Wow. And they make a couple different kinds of these bags. Some of them are taller and kind of hang around the trunk. I like these donut-shaped ones because they're not up against the trunk. That can trap some moisture and cause some problems. But this is great for a tree that you can't get your hose to if you have. So
what is that doing exactly? Because it just looks like a bag to me.
Yeah, you fill it up and it has little emitter holes on the bottom that let that water kind of just slowly seep out. So it's like, it might take it a day or a little bit more to like let that water out, but it's kind of slowly lets it out. And then you can pull that bag off empty, walk up to your hose, fill it up and carry it back out to where the tree is. So it just saves you having to have 300 feet of hose to get to that tree that's far from your house. You know?
Okay, that makes sense. And we're looking at another photo here, which is an example of what?
This is an example of soaker hose. So it lets water just kind of drip out of the hose all over the place. And there's different versions of this. This kind of lets it come out all over. There's others that have definite spots. It comes out in little emitters. But this is just a little bit more efficient of a way to get water into the soil than our typical like lawn sprinkler that sprays up in the air. You know, where you have some evaporation and some loss of water to the atmosphere. That gets it right on the soil. It's just a little bit more efficient.
Ryan, one thing I love about you is that no matter what the season is, you know what to do for our plants and our trees. How much time do you spend researching these topics to make yourself a wealth of knowledge? Well,
it depends. Some of the things it's from experience, you know, from over the years doing a lot of tree care, a lot of gardening and planting things. But, you know, the public kind of keeps me on my toes because they're constantly asking questions in our office. And some of those really do spur the research. And it's not always my personal experience, it's others at the university that I draw from at times because we're close to campus and I can talk to specialists there and other extension folks around the state. So a lot of times a question will come into one of us somewhere and it's like, hey everybody, what do you think about this, or what's your knowledge on this plant? And so that's what extension kind of really does, is we're a network of folks that have this technical experience, and my job is just to convey it out to the folks here in our counties. So
you do a great job, Ryan.
Oh, thank you.
And we always appreciate you for coming on the show. I also will be running to you with my own personal gardening and tree planting questions because I am wanting to plant a new tree because I just had to cut one down, but it was dead. So.
Well, that's the time to cut it down.
Okay,
but
all right.
Always happy to make recommendations on trees and shrubs or any plants in your landscape.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ryan. And if you would like to connect with Ryan, we'll connect you over at our website, ciLiving.tv.